Hello, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone the world you all are. It's your Blue Archive Gacha whale, beginner artist self-proclaimed, and your boy Tosanyu. Welcome to the art stream. For today it's like art stream on the program, and I will be drawing VTuber fan art, back at it again. And this time it's gonna be Natsuiro Matsuri from Hololive 2nd Gen. Hello, hello. Hello Deadfish, also welcome. Nice to see you here. Saw like a little bit with the pre-chat on that you're like doing dishes. Hope like this is like somewhat as a good background, you know. Just like to fill up the silence, I suppose. And while I'm going to be like yapping, I also like do the drawing here. So this is like what I will do for today. You have like on the left side some samples if you're not familiar with my art style at all, and will at average take about 2 hours. So yeah, feel free. Just give me the background or whatever. And come back like later. I don't know. Usually like when I do like watch art streams, for example, I do keep it in the background, but at the same time I'm not really like walking away from it, you know. I have it like constantly open, I think, especially if it's like those one draw challenges, I think, like the 1 hour drawings. And seeing like pro artists illustrate with the colors and everything really like shows me how much I suck. But yeah, actually it shows like how good they are at their craft, and you can like learn something from them. So I guess like there's a good thing about it, you know. It's like to gameplay, similar to like gameplay streamers as well, right? When there's like the best player in the world or something like that, of this one video game, when he's like streaming his speedruns or like doing cool clips on like a fighting game, you know. And yeah, I suppose it's just like nice to look at. Learn, but then procrastinate and do nothing. Hi. But yeah, it's actually like also like entertainment, you know. While things can like, you know, regarding learning, while things can serve as education for like, educational purpose, at the same time it doesn't have to be like that. You can just be like entertained by it, be like inspired, be like, wow, he's so good. What is this game? I wanna play that too. I wanna be good at this game too. Or whatever, you know. For me it's like reading too much manga. When I was like, man, the drawings be fire. They drew off that. Of course I had like some help here and there, like with assistance, you know, like for the backgrounds. Like one example. Or they draw like the whole panels for you, or like the speech bubbles, and then the sensei is only like drawing the characters, you know, something like that. It's the storyboard, making a story, something like that, you know. And then I'd be like, yeah, but there are also like cases where like mangaka usually, you know, do it solo, like with doujinshi, for example. This is like a one-man work usually, and no assistants can like bring this to, you know, fruition. And with doujinshis, for example, it takes like a bit longer, you know. And for example, in Japan, usually like those fan works, doujinshis are like sold at Comiket, and it's like hosted 2 times in a year there. So it's like August and December, so like summer and winter, right? They're like 6 months in between. Enough time to cook, you know. So there's not much of a time pressure, and you can take your time to polish it. But sometimes they don't get to finish it, but it's still like really good. It's like about how raw art can like be in its expression. Like if they keep it unfinished, you know, like they didn't ink everything, and it's just only like the pencil scratches of like the drawings, right? This can give it a different layer. But yeah, like doujinshi art and then like mangaka, like manga art and Weekly Shonen Jump are like really like 2 different things, I could like say. One is like working under time pressure, the other not really. And yeah, I guess like drawings are activity you can do one-handed. With digital art, you have like one hand maybe on the keyboard for like shortcuts, you know. Usually I don't really use that many shortcuts. I mostly like draw with one hand. If it were like pen and paper, you know, drawing a sketchbook, I would like make sure that the book stays open, you know, or have it like a eraser equipment there. But if I use like a pen, not a pencil, you know, like something you cannot erase, then it goes like back to the usual, you know. But like if carefully drawing things. And yeah. Let me see if this can like work, this expression wise. I think like I'm gonna just draw the other hand there as well, and like something like that. Now what's better than 1? 2. Let's do it like that. One is sadly not enough. I kinda like wanted to keep it at that, but even like in the sketch it's like not enough. So I did like like for audio only. What I did there was like doing something of a gesture with one hand, but then I realized, okay, 1 is not enough. I need 2 hands in there to create the energy there. So I suppose I will do that. So Natsuiro Matsuri, she's like a talent from Hololive 2nd gen, and while she's a cute character design and everything, she is quite yabai too. Really good at in the attack, you could like say, in the attack department. But she can't take it, or something like that, like class canon. So let's say she's gonna like use all her looks, her cute voice, and you know, to get like viewers in, something like that. Or like in usual anime, you know, harem anime, be like turning like people, those NPCs, into those kind of characters who talk about, you know, who like plays the character, you know, more or less. Yo, is this the beautiful anime girl of this series? Holy crap, she is so stunning. She has good grades. Holy crap, she's the best in our school. A goddess, such a beauty. Or something like that, you know. And then they're gonna amplify that, you know, be like, hey, hello, thank you, my friends, you know, and then do like you know, a wink or like a air kiss, you know, and they'll be like, oh, this kiss in the final blow, and you know, and then they have like their own fan clubs, like a bodyguards kind of assigned to them, and then yeah, I kind of imagine it like that they're like those besides those who are like written like, okay, they're from nature like beautiful and anything, that they're also like those grinders who will be like you know, put all this makeup, make sure that they're like dressed really well, you know, something like that, you know, and then try their best to be popular, something like that. Like some characters have like this kind of motivation, right? Am I hearing things? Yeah, I do like weird voices, I suppose. Like some anime do that really well, you know, on setting the tone, but for the most part I think like, yeah, this is typical for an anime, you know, that they have like some random NPCs there, and then they be like, and then they press the like and the upvote button basically whenever the main character posts something or so, whatever, you know. And this is not really realistic social media behavior, you know, or like real life at all, when there's like a beautiful person like, you know, walking down the streets. This would not be normal reaction. I can't take it seriously, you know, when this is like the first thing that might like happen in the first 2 minutes or so. Then later on they try to be serious and I'd be like, nah man, nah, you lost me. You should have kept it like to a comedy also. There are like some shows that really like show this kind of how badly written harem can be. But I guess it's like a money printing machine, you know. We have like some anime waifus, you know, and if they do anime, then they think about, okay, how can we make more money of it? Oh, make figurines, make like you know, like some posters with those girls wearing different outfits, and be like, yeah, that's gonna sell. You know, slap anime on it and it will sell. Usually like this thread. And yeah, it does work. Especially if the character looks like very attractive. But it's also like, you know, like most anime adaptations are like of light novel nature, right? There's like one writer and one illustrator. It all depends on the illustrator. How good are the character designs, you know? How good are their skills regarding making attractive characters? If they're attractive, let's go, money glitch. And if not, yeah, then I guess that's like about it. Of course, there are like things like Shonen Jump, you know, like there are Dragon Ball figurines, there's like Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece. If I think about it, Berserk also has like Guts figurines, you know, something like that. And I guess like for the fans of the series it's like nice, but for like otakus usually, you know, who are like more into, okay, I like cute anime girl, I like, you know, I buy. There's like not much. And the thing is like, even though if you don't know anime, you see like the girl be like, she looks cute, from what anime is she from, you know? And then maybe you get like hooked or something, you know? It's like the thing. For my part, regarding like shonen characters, how I got like hooked is like, okay, a lot of fan art, you know? I see a lot of art of them, and they look like beautiful. From which series are they? Oh, Gintama, okay. Like Sakata Gintoki. Actually a pretty attractive character. But they're like just a free-spirited entity. Or like a being, what? It's just so free-spirited, I think, you know? And you're not supposed to take him seriously at first. But when he logs in, it even like it affects like the mood of like, you know, like the how you perceive the series. Yeah. Gintama really good, but it's like a series which you have to take slowly. You know, it gets like at the first episode is like not even like from the manga itself. It's just like original. Anime original, and then episode 2 it actually starts, you know, and even there it takes slow. It was like a comedy manga at the beginning, but later on, okay, we have those established characters, we have like this world, we have all these beings, and let's like some better story of that also. That you kind of experiment like around with like your first kind of work, and maybe this becomes like your best work at some point if you like learn to apply like things you've learned. Okay, let me see. Now today I was like traveling. I came like back from my journey more or less, and I'm kind of like resting. I ate like well before I like started the stream, like watched some anime, but it was like overall like a good time. I almost forgot that I had a stream today. And I was like, oh yeah, I have a stream today, right? I kind of remembered myself, okay, maybe it was like yesterday, I don't know, or like today in the morning. Ah yeah. Tosan, do you still stream? Yeah, I do. Every single week. It's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I have a stream today. When I like arrived home, just relaxed, and then, yeah, finally time to like rest. Oh no, you have a stream today. It was, at some point. It was like, I think 2 hours before it, and then I was like, okay, let's do that. Create a schedule and so on. I was like playing a lot of games, and currently like some gacha games and some things to kind of like AFK games. This was some games I do play for enjoyment, some other games not really for enjoyment. But it's like about finding like things out. I guess I'm not gonna try the whole body. You know, like there are like, you know, there are like some games you can buy or like download, right? And those are like some full spectrum game, you know? Actually, I forgot something. Give me a moment. Not regarding throwing, but regarding a gacha game. You missing me. Server reset hit today. Need to like look. Need to check on it like right now. But yeah, regarding like games, there are like some full-fledged games. There are like some live service games, right? Most live service games are like free to play, and then they have like some in-game like some microtransactions where actually you can like buy things to improve your experience, you know? Like better equipment, gear, gacha, currency, you know? And then it relies on luck. It's like loot boxes in a sense, right? But then there are also like games supposedly there to let you earn money, right? And then I don't know if you like remember all those fake ads, you know? They do that sometimes like for pretty big titles. But then there also are like bootleg games, you know? And with the age of AI, for example, this gets really like horrendous on like what kind of games that do not... Okay, they exist, but they're like crappy, you know? What kind of games they like try to promote you. You really don't click on those. But then there are like some kind of things there, you know? How can you earn money from home? There's like home office, right? For example. Or like you're at a telephone kind of job, call service, what do you call it, customer support, yeah, something like that. You can do something like that at home. Or you like other certain kind of website or websites, you know, that can pay you out if you like do certain tasks for them. Back in the days, sometimes today when I have time, I do it like via like questionnaires or like you know, they have like a certain questionnaires, let's say like that. It's just like about filling in your data, what are your current opinions, you know, or like your shopping data, something like that, and then they pay you out for that, right? But besides like those pretty exhausting tasks, they also like play games and then we give you the points, and if you have enough of those points we can give you like a gift code or like some you pay out cash via PayPal or something like that. And you know, those games, I talk like about those horrendous games that are like made with AI, you know, or like things you never would click on. And when they redirect you to those kind of abominations, they're all like when you like go in, it like bombards you with ads or so. And then it's like also, by the way, if you keep playing the game, interact with pop-ups, you can like earn more, it's gonna accelerate your progress, so please do that. And then it's like, what? And I played like those things in the past. They were quite a time sink, you know, and for the beginning it kind of looked like really good, you know, regarding earning. But then but on the second day there would be a slog, and then it's like, okay, slowly and steady, you know, you have to do it slowly and steady. Yeah, and it was like not the most pleasant experience with like gaming at all. It's were like some knockoff games, or like, you know, like for example like SAO, you know, like pretty popular title. They would like use all the assets on like SAO, you know, and then do like a tapper kind of like game with that. And then It's like basically like AFK arena more or less, you know, but the only gameplay is like AFK, you know, and then sometimes the objective, okay, reach level 1000 or so within 30 days, something like that. And then kind of like turns out it's gonna be like super hard. You have to like grind it every day, and if you get impatient, then oh, like those shiny ads, in-game currency, you know, you can accelerate your progress, you know. But why paying money to get more money, right? If you like try to be free to play, if you like try to like earn money, you know, like home office wise, like if when you don't have money at all, you have to earn it, right? Something like that. It's like kind of like the thing with like, yeah, I want to work, but I don't have experience. Okay, then get experience. But for getting experience, I have to work, right? But you need experience, you know, this kind of meme, kind of thing, right? I can't spend money if I don't have money. I have to earn it and earn it, but I don't have money, right? Something like that. And yeah, you have to work hard instead, I suppose. And then it's really like, you know, pretty bad. But people still play it because they kind of like, you know, they want to be free to play. They don't want to spend a single dime, and it is understandable. But then you finish the task, and it's like, yeah, I won. But at what cost? So it doesn't really feel like worth playing those kind of games, you know? Even if it's like for some compensation. But there's like something with like Wuthering Waves as well, you know? Like if it's actually established games, not like those cheap ass knockoff games, you know? Actually, you know, there's also like a game that out there where you can play all those fake games on the ads, you know, those games that do not exist actually, you know. I saw like some VTubers stream that and actually like want to give it a try as well at some point. And nostalgia. But this was like really like back in the days where let's say I didn't have like a job, you know, and then, man, I want some money, and then, oh, Nintendo Switch, but I need some money, and then yeah, kind of like did something there. And hey, I got to get a Nintendo Switch at some point without like paying majority of my funds. It was like basically a 300 euro discount or so. Actually no, what was the Switch worth? Like the Switch 2 sells at 450 bucks. This is super expensive. I think the Switch was like something with 200 or so. I think like I had like about 40 or 50% discount with the money I kind of like earned from like those home office jobs, more or less, when I had free time. But yeah, you actually can get some money off of that, or at least like some gift codes to like for Amazon, for example, for like Google Play, you know, if you're like gacha gamer then you need some funds, something like that. And it's actually quite okay for those who are desperate. But when you already have a job, you earn a lot more per hour than like on this, when, you know, when doing like playing some knockoff games, or like, you know, or like answering questionnaires. Answering questionnaires is like the best, but the thing is like with some of those knockoff games, you can keep them in the background and kind of like AFK, you know, you can like watch an anime. Every now and then you have like to press something on the screen you know, because they don't fully support autoplay, you know, if you interact with the ads, for example. It's just like this kind of era where I was like kind of really desperate, really like broke, and then okay, I gonna do this, you know, because my days are like filled with studying too much, you know, preparing for like for school, like back in the days, like my trainee. And sometimes it gets like really physical, like it was like a craftsmanship once, you know, and this was like working with like tools and then like those materials, then creating something. And I did like things with metal, for example, like regarding like craftsmanship as well. I had also a background with like with woodworks as well. So and especially like with metal, for example, you have like to work with like some gases and to like kind of melt materials together or like form them, you know, like drilling some holes into them or like making some cuts here and there, like sawing, you know, and with all those chemistry like around there, you know, that is like used to like make the work easier. I had like enough of like doing more labor. So like things like now to get like extra pocket money from like those kind of stuff, yeah, was an alternative. I'm not really like happy about doing those, but usually like, you know, when you're like not familiar with the job world, some people explain it to you, yeah, you get paid for doing something you don't like. And at this kind of point I was like thinking, yeah, fair. And let's say I had like a lot of jobs, I work like a lot of jobs I don't like really. But I did it anyways. I had like willpower. This was like one thing I had really. They're going for me. And I was not like the kind of guy who's like avoiding work. I would do the work. I get paid for that, you know. I come there to earn money. And they expect me to work. Yeah, I can do that. I also would like be accepted of like work where I just have to stand, you know, and I would be also like totally fine with that. I can be like the best stand user, like you know, in this kind of like sense. Even it gets boring or so, if I get paid a fair amount, okay, I'll do it. And to be honest, there are like actually like some work opportunities there regarding that, you know. It's just like kind of, you know, look, you see like example like in Japan, like those long lines, you know, and the Japanese have more or less this weird kind of mindset. And they see a line, be like, oh, a lot of people are waiting there, it must be good. And then they stand in line too, right? Like they pay like for things like that as well, or like those kind of boring jobs. Like you do not do a lot, but you get money. I would be ready to do that. But sadly, from my place, you know, EU, Germany, it's a lot stricter regarding work, you know. So like things like black company or so, it's not really publicly available, you know, or like some scammers like in broad daylight, they don't exist there, or at least I haven't ever seen one, so I don't get to do those easy jobs. You know, I have to actually work hard, and I think this was 1W for Germany, like in this area. Yeah, sometimes the best thing to do is find a job that nobody else wants to do and do it better than anybody else. Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes you get the opportunity to like have like a full-time kind of employment there. For me, I was kind of like I was more or less like back in the days, like they would call them mercenaries, right? They like offer their swords, their fighting abilities, you know, for like money. I was like something like that, but like regarding work. I was like a slave, you could like say. A modern slave, more or less. Like, actually, if you think about it, yeah. Yeah, let's say I was a slave. Let's say it like that. Maybe, nah, and I was not actually a slave, but just for like keeping it simple, you know, and like funny, I suppose. Yeah, I was like something like that before I like got a good like actually work a job, you know, not like be there temporarily. And let's say, even though the work I did there was like not the cleanest, was pretty dirty. We had like to wear like specific masks to like filter the dust and like the chemistry that is like mixed into like the factory kind of air, you know. When they like work on like certain materials or so. It has to do with like a lot of heat. I still did my best there. And some workers there, let's call them my senpais, they acknowledge that, they like recognize that. And let's say they got more friendly with me, you know, regarding that, since most of the people, you know, they like see, you know, like, well, like slaves like me. They were like more the lazy side, you know, they did the bare minimum, but actually I tried hard. And I got like, you know, more assistance from like the senpais, like that. And for the most part, they were like the old people, you know, who like saw this more or less. More leading more on the more sides, you know. While the younger like workers, they be like, hey, yeah, some extra hands, let's go. They only like would do the things that I cannot do, like only the steps regarding like our work tasks, like teamwork, you know. But I do like 90%, they do 10%. What do you use to draw? Man, you can like kind of like see that in two ways, the question. I'm using a graphic tablet to draw. It's just a tablet, no screen or so. Thanks Wacom. I think I bought it like for 20 bucks or so. It's a pretty small tablet. What can I think of? This is the size of that. It's like in the size of like a small sketchbook, yeah. I guess. A5? No. Yeah, A5 maybe, like this kind of size. And for the drawing programs like Clip Studio Paint. EX even. It's not the one with the monthly subscriptions, like you buy it once, then you have the more or less the full program. Usually you don't need that. But if you're a professional, for example, or draw like a lot, and then with that a lot of different things, like for manga, for example, and they have a lot of useful tools there for you. Even like for animators, they have like some things. Okay, cool, I had monthly subscriptions. Yeah, I figure. But if you go like the way of monthly subscriptions, they have like more useful things for you. So there's like this kind of gist there, you know? They tried it like this kind of a way. Usually like Clip Studio is like really supportive of the artists, you know? Like this is their audience. But when they kind of like pitch the idea and then the art community is like, nah man, this shit weird, they'll be like, yeah, like, yeah, actually it's shit weird, sorry, and yeah, and then they actually like got back to the original. There's still the option there, you know, that's like not mandatory, you know, but they didn't like change our whole program, like the payment process thingy, like, you know, I don't know like what you call it, but they didn't change it like to that, you know, that you get like the full program. There's also a demo version also, I suppose, but yeah, there's like this. But back in the days I used like Medibang for the art program, the drawing program. It's like free to play. It's like similar to, like, some people use GIMP, some people use like Krita or Ibis Paint or so, right? There are like a lot of different ones. You have like to like see what's like useful for you. There are like some basic steps, you know, before you actually start drawing on those programs. It's like maybe things about pencil pressure or something like that. And once you kind of like feel like, okay, that's like the right pressure, then you can actually start like to draw something. I think like I did that, I'd learned about Krita when like, and pencil pressure and everything, when I was like watching Ina's stream. She had like a little bit of a recommendation, you know, or like at least she showed like what her settings were. And then, you know, you can like try to use the same setting, you know. But then if it doesn't really like feel quite right, then you know, adjust the parameters a little bit, like a little bit to left or a little more to the right, you know, until it feels like, okay, I can vibe with that. Something like that. I did a mistake, by the way. I drew like for the most part on the same layer. I have to separate like some things, so it's like a little bit smoother with the progress later on and erasing stuff. But yeah, I use like for the majority of like my art, like back in the days, like Medibang. So like if you like know where to find my old art, then you can like see more or less like a difference like visually regarding limitations. And so sometimes my tablets would have problems, and then the line art itself was like really smeary, but still I made decent art also. Like, it's just like not the quality like I wanted, but it still works. Oh no, lol, I hate when I do that. Yeah, like with the layers, right? To be honest, like with the layers things, they're like a kind of interesting thing like for digital artists. When I was like still like a guy who is drawing on pencil paper, I kind of like, what the hell are you talking about, you know? And what is like with the Control Z, Control Y, you know? We had like so easy. We have to work hard to make our figures, but actually when I tried out like digital art, I was like, oh, I got like humbled and be like, okay, actually it's hard. I take it back. Gaming in a sense also not easy, you know. It's like a skill. But in the end, it's like not an important skill. Like with drawing, you can express yourself really. You can repress yourself truly. And like touch people's hearts, I suppose. It's similar to like of music as well, right? When you put in your emotions in there. Especially if it has vocals. But it doesn't really has... It doesn't need to have them, right? Sometimes like just the samba piano and then like some melody here and there can make it like sound good, especially like slow paced. But sometimes you need a fast pace, but then it doesn't like sound like that sad, right? Then there's like the vocals. They can like finish the rest of the whole picture. But if we go to like the video games, there's a combination of like gameplay, like the visuals, you know, of the art, for example, you know, like for anime games. Oh, we talked like about how emotional music can be. I'll put it in the mix. And then like a good story, like, you know, like if we combine all of that, perfect, right? That's like why we also like anime, you know, because this can be like the combination of like those art forms. And if I think about it like in the Lilies for me, indie game, I finished like before, you know, the game I've played before 6 song on Metroidvania. This was like a work of art for me. I kinda like want to draw or like finish the fan art. I just did like a sketch for now. I can like post it somewhere. Give me a moment. So got like a message. Gonna respond that too quickly. And just gonna be like, yeah, give me some time, I'm streaming also. I'm not a fast typer. Alright, let's continue. Just like about eating, it's like about some like food stuff. Made like some food for like too much food and then be like, hey Tosan, do you want some? And be like, yeah, sure, but I need like a little bit. Something like that. Usually I cook for myself, you know. What I had like today, like before I started the stream. Hello, Kotomi. What do I read here? What am I reading here? Hi, Mr. Yu. I can't stay today because my Wi-Fi is acting up, but I watched the VOD. Have a very nice stream. Hi, thank you. I hope this is gonna get solved soon with the Wi-Fi, and thank you for being part of the VOD gang. I salute. To be honest, I watch like a lot of VODs too. Especially if the video is like very long. 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours. Also, I watch like some video that addresses like corporate, like VTuber companies, you know, and looking at them with like the purpose of their video, you know, of those videos, like the videos I watched from, were like for criticism and commenting, or was it something like that? Yeah. Criticism, commenting on that, nothing more, something like that. No, I don't have time. Okay, where was I? Regarding the VOD thing, you know, I do like to watch, not really watch them, but like listen to them, you know, especially if there's like not much like to report, like regarding the visuals, and then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna read it out for you anyways, you know, you can just keep in the background. And sometimes they will like comment like, you know, like for those audio onlys regarding like what the content were like anyways. But it can be quite helpful to have like a little bit of a visual every now and then. Just like for me, when I work, for example, like in my job, I can't really have like my phone out in the open, you know, and like peek at it every now and then. So it's gonna be like audio only, like with a earphone in my ear, you know. And to be honest, I do need sometimes like those kind of things playing in the background to keep me sane. Especially if it's like work, where you do pretty much the same thing for hours, you know? It's just like the example of like, okay, you stand there for 8 hours. Oh gosh, man, you need like a little bit of entertainment, you know? To like keep yourself sane. Alright, I have to like wait, stand up, like really have to stop drawing for a moment. Give me a moment. Mute also. My gosh, my heart. Arise, my heart. Alright. You say something we heard 5 minutes later. It's funny. Yeah, I suppose. Laugh through the pain, right? Smile through the pain. Not much one can do when like bad things are like happening. And yeah, I suppose like when there's like something out of your control, there's not much you can really do. A lot of people like default to like you know, blow off steam, but not in a healthy sense. Be like, oh man, it's so hot. Then yeah, it's hot. What you gonna do about it, you know? Like just saying it's hot doesn't really change much about like the current state of like things. We're gonna talk about like something different, or like just do what you can do, you know. Like if you wanted to do small talk, it's sometimes like, yeah, I know. There's also like this thing of like, oh, nice weather, isn't it? You know. Hi, dish is done. Alright, fantastic. To be honest, I do see the chat messages a little bit early, I know. But just like, I have to finish my sentence before I can like move on, right? Something like that. It was kind of weird to wash the dishes, talk to mom and hear in my ear. I'm a modern slave at the same time. Yeah. I get that too. When I like, for example, work, and then my senpais are like talking to me, be like telling me like, okay, at like around this time, don't go to the toilets. The technicians, or like, you know, we have like people who work like on the tubes, like making sure that the water works again, and something like that. We listening to like a podcast or like a comment. Actually, I need to like move the mic closer. Well, they're like, you know, it's like about VTuber companies, you know, like that there's a podcast about VTuber companies, and then it's like, okay, and then yeah, I get it. But the thing is like, it's really hard to listen to 2 people at once, you know, while doing activity. So you have to blend out the other thing. So for the most part, I have to like kind of ignore what's like being said in my earphone. I have to like listen what the person says, and then like actually responding, registering it, you know, and be like, yeah, I got it. Something like that. At times like this, I wish I have like a super brain, you know? Like, it's still like fine because you can just like say, okay, I just like missed out like 10 seconds of that, it's fine. But you can also like be like, okay, let's go like 5 seconds back in time, you know, let's go 5 seconds back, and I can listen to what has been said, actually 10 seconds or so, you know, however you feel like. And then yeah, like if you're like VOD kind of guy, this is like kind of okay. But let's say you have like a new earphone, then you don't really know much really, okay, at what hour, what kind of time marker was it actually, like where I got interrupted, you know. Which is also like the dilemma, so I kind of like accept it like when I don't really be able to revisit that easily. If it's karaoke stream, like, you know, singing, no issues, I suppose, you know. Like singing you can also enjoy passively, like someone singing. can also BGM, you know? Like some people like listen to music while they work. I do like to listen to music, you know, too. When I have like a podcast, you know, sometimes I need a little of a break. And then, okay, little music here and there, you know. Like, after one Satsudan, I do like one music track, or like 2, 3, you know. And if I wanna learn like new songs, then I'm gonna put them also like on the queue. I have like YouTube Premium, and you have like this useful feature of like putting in a queue and then just turn the screen off and still plays. While with normal YouTube it doesn't really have that. If you find it enjoyable, you know, with like some entertainment like that in your ear, fantastic. What kind of music do I listen to? Phew. I can't really like say anything specific, you know, because I don't really have specific tastes regarding music. I'm otaku, so most of my music access, you know, is like via watching VTuber streams or like watching anime. This is where I like get in contact with that most of the time. And I'll be like, wow, what a banger, what is this song called? Ah, Mui Chaka Fire, sounds like a username, not a song name. Then yeah, something like that, you know. When anime is like played, it also like displays the name of the song. But for me, I can't always like read kanji, for example, right? So kind of like have to rely on YouTube search and be like, okay, Jujutsu Kaisen opening 1, and then at some point it's you know, when you get Jujutsu Kaisen opening 1, and then it actually says the title of that, for example, right? And then I find out about the titles, for example. Oh, the one from Mafu Mafu? What one? Yeah, I say like anime and VTubers, you know. I mean, Mafu Mafu sometimes does like a VTuber-ish stream, you know, where he uses like his feminine voice to like, or like feminine-ish kind of voice, you know, to like stream. And it can get quite interesting on how skilled this guy is. But also, he's quite wholesome. So there's like a reason, you know, to watch him just because you like his personality, you know. Like where he wrote like a song for a friend, you know. And just like, hey, this is really okay, you know, and then, yeah, it's okay, we are friends, you know. And they did even for their birthday, you know, and then it's like, nah, I can't accept that, man. And Mafu Mafu really undermines that, more or less, but this guy is like a famous songwriter. He is also really good at those cover songs, you know, like Utaite, right, you know. And this voice and the range he got with that is like, yeah. And then he's also a gamer. He's cracked at Smash. He's cracked at Smash. And he... when I was like watching those clips he did there, those are really like some top level skills. It's like on world class level, you could like say. he could like compete with the best of the worlds, like with those kind of skills. But this guy is just like some guy who does music and has like a feminine voice, you know, in this range. It's just like crazy, you know. Not only he's good at music writing, but he has like top level Smash Brothers skills there. He's better than me. It was just like, you know, some Smash player who is like a little bit of an otaku side discovered him, you know, like saw this clip and be like, holy crap, he does really smart plays. This guy's just a music writer. Like regarding decision making, regarding like the options he like chooses, you know, like top level skills, something like that. Like Mafu is like a lot of things. Yeah, I do like remember as always like this one video where he's like it's like about I wanna be a girl, you know, like this one. To be honest, I don't really like know what like counts as a feminine voice at some point anymore in the Japan sphere, and like what is like at one point does it sound like more boyish, you know. But yeah. But at the same time, you know, there was like also this video I like watched which was like so this is basically Ruby, you know, so it's like kind of like looking at serious and like but explaining it like in a simpler way. And yeah, and there was like this crow kind of guy who was like talking. Besides like the normal you know, the commentator's voice, there would also be like Ruby like talking, and then video end, and then credits. We're looking at the video description as well, and then all voices are like done by me, and it's like, what? I thought this was like a different voice actor, like who spoke Ruby. What do you mean? You all voices are like done by you? And it's just like kind of incredible, you know, how skilled people can be. Sometimes like gifted, you know, and like skilled enough to like pull off that voice, you know. It's just like, yeah, I'm pretty fascinated. Then be like, can I do that too? And I suppose I can. Like regarding my voice, it's like not too much of a, you know, difficulty. It's like not impossible. Some people like tell me I have a deep voice, but it's not really deep. I have like a lot of bass when I like talk normally. I can just remove that bass, and then I have like a little more, voice that sounds like a little more on the higher side. My voice is like more on the higher side, I think. It's not too deep. It's like not Shinri level. I wonder what outfit I'm gonna draw for you. I'm gonna go for the first outfit for Matsuri's design. Gonna be my first time drawing her, but I do like her. Ah, yeah. So many pinks today. I should like turn off Discord while I stream. I have no reason to look at it while I stream. Same with like messages and so on. I'm just gonna mute them. Unless there's an emergency, but usually I do not expect anything like happening there. Especially like at night, you know, like when I go to sleep when someone's gonna call me. Not at all. Like I have that never happened to me really, you know. I can like be fine with like keeping the phone like in the kitchen while I like in my bedroom like sleep or so, right? Yes, I had to explain to my sister what is imamisimi, and then I realized how weird and kinda insane it is. Yeah, it is. Like, it's like typical for Japan, you know, like of that kind of concepts. Like if things like High School DxD exists, for example, it's just like you gave them freedom, you let them cook, you know. Just let them cook. Just let them cook, you know. When it sounds insane on paper, but when actually like get to like experience like that, you know, and actually give that a try, you know, it slaps. Kinda slaps. Of course, they can also do more normal things. This can also be good, like frieren, for example, you know. Or like back in days like Full Metal Alchemist or so. Or like just some action junk food like Jujutsu Kaisen and like Dragon Ball, right? Also. But when you just let them cook and they use like some weird ingredients, you know, it does look weird, it does sound weird, but it slaps, right? And a lot of people have like trouble like explaining, like trying to get people to umamisime, you know, because it sounds so weird. But now that it's like, you know, a game that has been globalized, now it's a lot easier. And now it's like a thing that's not only like popular in Japan, but also like all over the world. It's like similar to Japan, it doesn't only affect the otakus, but also the normies, you know, who are like also playing the game. And it's like, yeah, I cannot try it, or else I'm going to become a gambling addict. You don't have to pay money there. The thing is like, this is a free-to-play application. You have the ability to like pay money there, like microtransactions. But it's like first and foremost like a free-to-play game. And let's say I'm not free-to-play there, but I was kind of considering doing it free-to-play. But then I realized, man, this game is really good. Really well made. Cygames doesn't disappoint. KMR Summer. Really good job. Let's pay some money. Just some, you know? Like every month it's like about $6 I spend there. Or like 7 USD, you know? Or like the daily carrot pack. That's all. And if I do gacha, then I'm gonna do like for Kita-san Black, this was this one case. Like the really, really important ones. And then waifu pulls. I did try a little bit of Seon Sky, but then at some point I stopped because I need to save for like Manhattan Cafe. I want to get her. I also already got my own Top Gun wedding dress. You know, I got her my first temple. This was like saving my gacha currency, you know, so I can like just wait for Manhattan Cafe. And yeah, I think like I want to get all the skins for Rice Shower, for Maya-chan, and like for Manhattan Cafe as well. I kind of like those character designs, and I like their vibes. That's like why I kind of like go for them. Especially like if you get like a glimpse of them in the career or like in the story mode, like, you know, and then you're like, hey, what, I like this design, or like, oh, I find this character interesting, what's up about them. Sometimes you see them in anime or like in other media, and then you get like kind of curious, you know, or like you saw their real life history, and it's like, yeah, like some, like those horses, you know, the real life horses can be quite funny, you know, like Goldship, for example. Or like the family from gold chip. And the offspring from like gold chip, you know, as well. And it's kind of like funny to look at that. And then like how much they are like the Umamissime are like based on the real life horses, you know, and like the outfits as well, the character design, the personality, how like on point they like are, right? And then the design choices and everything. Like for Diver Scarlet, for example, it's like pretty like smart on like how they did the designs, you know. And there's like a lot of thought put into it. It's like a really well crafted product, and I see that, I appreciate it, have my money, you know. When I really like see there's effort put into it, then I'm gonna reward that. For Blue Archive I did that, for example, like with spending 200 to 300 bucks every month. But now, currently, I don't see it as much, like spending so much money on. So now I'm like holding back. It's still more than I spent on Umamissime, but there are figurines coming out, so I'm gonna spend on those. I'm currently like waiting for my order regarding a Manhattan Cafe plushie, the horse. Manhattan Cafe, the horse. I'm not sure if it's a keychain or like a plushie, but we'll see. I'm gonna use that one for putting Manhattan Cafe. I'm gonna do a webcam and you know, have like a Manhattan plushie cafe, like kind of webcam there, you know. I'm gonna use it for the ritual summoning circle, you know, like with that one. And maybe I'm gonna see like if in the online crane game they're gonna put up like Manhattan Cafe figurines. I can try. If not, maybe I try to get it like when I get to Japan at some point. Like the yen is a lot lower than the euro, so I could like, you know. I have like a plan like to go there. But I really wanted to go like during a time where it's like Comiket, but the winter it's like pretty hard for my, like for Germany usually, like for people like who work there to like get vacations off on the last month of like the year. If I were like a student or like a trainee, then it's a lot more flexible regarding taking your time off. But yeah, kind of like doomed. Same layout shoe. Of course, you can't really control gacha, you know? What you can control is like how many gacha pulls currency you have, or gacha pull tickets, you know, via playing the game and maybe like paying money. But once you like press like, okay, pull, draw, you know, the character, then you have to rely on luck. There's nothing you can do. If they give you like 9 grays and 1 gold, there's nothing you can do. Just accept it, you know. Same like with horse racing, like with the races itself. Even if you give them like the best stats and everything, if they get blocked, it's over. Sometimes, like the number 1 favorite, it's gonna be like 2nd, 3rd place, 5th place, you know. Like everything that's not 1st place is like you lost, you know. So there's like also this kind of element in there. but different from like normal horse racing. This is like a character, a girl, you spend like a lot of time with onto training her and fulfilling her dreams. And if you manage to fail that dream and fulfilling that dream of theirs, like failing them as your as their trainer, you know, that you fail as a trainer, it does sting somewhere. Of course, we are gamers. Gamers, they can like feel something there, lick blood, and then okay, you got me, good game, and then they come back. But in the case of like Iwamisime, you build a connection with them, a relationship, a thing of like based on trust and everything, unless you skip the story and whatever. But there's like this kind of connection, you know. It's a little bit parasocial, I suppose, but you can get invested into that. And once you like come back for reward for like a second round, now you studied like the meta, you know like how to build her properly, you know, and how to like boost their winning rate, and then actually getting them to first place. It feels like pretty fulfilling and nice. And when I kind of got to the point, I really like felt in love, it really like appreciate like Iwamisime, you know. I really like fell in love with the game. There's also this horse called Haruura. I don't know if you saw the YouTube post I like posted there with like the pink-haired girl who got like first place in Arimakinen. This girl is based on the real life horse Haruura, and this Iwamisime, or like this horse, yeah, the horse Haruura, she passed away on the 9th August, so on Shino Day. And the history is that this racehorse has 113 losses, consecutive losses. Not a single win in the whole career in which they were active. From 1998, I think 1998 until 2004, if I remember correctly. But they tried their best in every single run. They never gave up. And they had a lot of fun running in that. They wanted to run. Haruura wanted to run. And like seeing this kind of lore, and then her end game as a Iwamisime, you kinda want her to succeed, you know? You have the opportunity to make her win, to like change the, you know, change the program, change like the script book that has been already decided there from like history, you know? Like that you can like change the canon event into a like more satisfying ending. And Arimakinen, at the end of the run, at the end of her career, is like the last kind of goal for her. And she's like, it's like kind of a scripted loss, you know? She is not able to win that by normal means. But she can if you train her the right way. Like every single Iwamisime is viable if you train them right. And there's a little bit of a strategy, a little bit of a... There's like some in-depth. There's a lot of depth about the game on like how you can like, you know, train them. And I kinda got it, I kinda got the win with Haruura, you know? And this felt like really satisfying. I also like posted a video like regarding run on like Twitter. 5 minutes or so, just like a raw recording of the gameplay with like some cuts regarding loading times and like the concert or so. But just like the relevant parts on like what are the stats, what are the skills, how was the performance, like the race itself, and then like the aftermath, like the story, you know, like the reaction to that, like the dialogue, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah, also like some horses the movements are based on also like kind of, they have also like a sad story, you know, like that ended like in them being euthanized. Like some race injuries, you know, like some accidents, race accidents. There's also like this kind of thing. Those horses are like built to be like the fastest beings, you know, to run super fast, but they are so fragile, you know. They can't just die. They can just simply die. They can't even like throw up, you know. Because of the way like their body is like built, they will just die if they have to like throw up, for example. What do you mean euthanization? Like some horses, you know, not some horses, but you know, a horse weighs a lot, right? Like a lot of tons. If they manage to suffer injury during the race, like a broken leg, not just a fracture, but something's broken, then the whole body cannot support their body weight, you know? And they're not like humans who can like sit still, you know, have like a... I don't know how you call it. You know, like when you have a broken bone, that you have like something wrapped around the broken leg or so, and then you sit still. Horses cannot sit still. And if they like kind of if they have to like push their body weight on all their 4 legs, then the one injured leg's gonna suffer a lot. And the most human way to like approach that is to like euthanize them, so that they don't have to suffer until they die, you know? At least like back in the days, like 1996 to 1998 and so on. Those if you look like, for example, to Rise to Shower and Silent Suzuka, you see like a little bit into that. There are also like videos from their races, you know, their last races. And some are like adapted to the anime, Imamisumi. If you're just an anime only watcher, you think like, kind of, you know. But once you like look into the race history, it's kind of like, you know, it hits different, you know. When you get more attached to the characters, actually, like them as Imamisumi. And it's kind of weird, like, how could like this game about anime girls based on horses made me feel so, made me care so much about horses, actually, you know, about some animals. The what where you were trying to find a cast? Yeah, a cast, I suppose. German is not, yeah, I usually speak German, you know, and in real life, not English. So sometimes I do like the vocabs and like when I speak English. I can like get my words, my message across, but yeah. It's like that. But you get maybe what I mean, you know. Horses are very fragile. And some things are not in the control of like the jockey, you know, like the person who's like riding the horse, like navigating them. In real life, there's like, okay, the owner, you know, of the horse, who's like kind of raising them, and there's a trainer, and then there's a jockey. But in the Misame, it's all like divided into like a trainer, you know, because the horse anime girl can like run on their own, right? And they can like heal their wounds, you know, they can sit still if they've broken something, but real life horses cannot do that, you know. Have to be careful. Especially with what you feed them. I think with today's technology, you can do a lot on like, you can do a lot more, you know, regarding medicine, you know. Regarding treating injuries. Maybe we can find a, you know, like some people are like able to beat cancer, you know. There's also like something worth noting. Or some weird kind of diseases that come up. Like, regarding COVID, I think, there's not really a cure for it, right? When I go like traveling to a different country or so, or like really far away from home, I wear a mask, you know, just in case. Like, medicine has like advanced, you know, especially like technology, nanotechnology for example, like to do like some surgery, something like that. There's also like this meme, they did a surgery on a grape! But yeah, still, you know, there are limits to like what can be done. It is unfortunate for like the animals back in the days, you know, but yeah. No, there's no cure, it's just erratic illness. Smiley face. Yeah. Can also like be, you know. Maybe we are like the virus, you know. We need to be eliminated. Man, I kinda like miss those meme reviews from PewDiePie. They were kinda nice. Pro fist. How long have I been? Well, more than 1 hour already. And I'm kinda like, I got worse, I suppose, at drawing. Usually I do like the drawing during the mornings, like evening. No, but it can also be because I draw her the first time. And then I want like the first time to be like, okay. Hajimate. Hajimete. Daiken. The first time should be like something, yeah, something okay, something not horrible. The first impression is also like important. Washoi. Washoi. Usually like, whenever I get like into a franchise, the first time, you know, getting into franchise, into like getting like something new, it's like always like something I approach like carefully. Like nowadays. Back in the days it was like a lot of optimism, I suppose. And like a lot of like curiosity and like openness. And sometimes I do get disappointed, you know. Nowadays I'm a lot more careful, you know. Because there's also like the danger of, okay, gacha game. Okay, I don't want to spend. But sometimes you do see, okay, you did something really good there, and then I'm willing to pay a little bit of money, you know? And the thing is, like, you can kind of decide, like, how much you spend on that, you know? It's a free to play, but then you can be like, yeah, this is a game that's worth 70 bucks or so. Let's give them 70 bucks, you know? Something like that. Oh no, this game's like worth like 1k, a grand, you know, because there's not only like the programmer or like the visual design or like music, there are also voice actors, you know, and then for different languages, for like Hoyoverse, you know. It's kind of like weird because we're like otakus, we are like into Japanese voice acting, you know, like anime, those kind of things are like a product from Japan, right? But then they have like their English dubbing, they have like their Chinese dubbing, then they have the Korean dubbing, and then it's like, okay. And it depends like how generous like one person like feels, or like how desperate they are like when it comes to gacha, right? Me, for my part, I do like acknowledge like that Hoyoverse can make some cool gameplay, and they make like designs that are like really hot, really good like for cosplaying. Like every single design is like good for cosplay. I see like in every anime convention I go, like Hoyoverse franchises there, you know. For fan art's also like great. I like the spicy fan art too. But obviously I don't know much about the characters, but I do acknowledge, man, this is really good, you know, like when they do like really good designs, hot designs, you know, and then some artists go like wild, let's go, you know. I appreciate it for that. It's not, but yeah, there are like some things that like are kind of like weird for me. I'd be like, nah, I'm not gonna play that. At least not, or like, it's not gonna be my game, you know. But yeah, there are always like pros and cons. The pros outweigh the cons, you know, for my case. There are some things I nitpick about, but overall I acknowledge like it has good things, you know. I played like Genshin Impact for like 2 hours. I think it's fine. I think I will like, maybe at some point if I have time, you know, Like take a look into Wuthering Waves. Maybe play it like also on maybe like on stream, you know, like for a few hours, 2 hours maybe. Yeah, let's maybe make 2 hours. Regarding my slave work, at least home office slave work, there's like an offer regarding, okay, play Wuthering Waves, you know, reach a certain level with those characters, and then we pay you out or something like that. It's like, yeah, okay. Let's stream that. Let's monetize that. More or less. The monetization is not on yet regarding YouTube. I need to reach like 1k subscribers, you know, regarding ads. But, you know, let's have it on stream at some point. If it comes to that. Like the gameplay is good and the character design is good. But there's also potential more. Like, you know, Black Myth Wukong is like really should be a good game, and it's like made in China, you know. There's also like something come up later with like Showa American Story, you know. It's like alternative timeline where like Wild West, and there's like but with like Japanese people in there, and it's kind of like similar to like, you know, the weird concepts of like Japan's are coming up with, you know, Misumi or like High School of the Dead, or like, you know, like who the hell let them cook, you know. It's just like, okay, be the American Japanese think you are, and the American Japanese Chinese people think you are, or something like that. This kind of concept. Like whenever you see like Americans, you know, in anime, and then they're like they're depicted in a very different way than the normal American would like be. Baki, for example, is like also really weird. Like JoJo, when you get like to the bizarre parts. That's like what's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Or like, you know, like Fist of the North Star, you know, like this kind of meme with like, Omae wa mou shinderu, nani? You know. I really much like that weirdness, the uniqueness there. It is weird, but you can tell that they're fun, they put their heart into it. Let's go. If I'm gonna like nitpick regarding the West, with their kind of politics kind of schemes, like, you know, political messages in the game, inclusivity, you know, he, they, she, like with the pronouns stuff, that they try to make their stories like games about things I don't care about. I mean, that's subjective, you know, but usually like a lot of gamers, they don't really look for themes like that. Like they don't want like politics in their games, or like things like virtue signaling, right? It's kind of a waste to like put in this kind of things into a AAA game. If there are people who like it here in the audience, I suppose, you know. But just like in my eyes, my opinion, like, yeah, nothing I would like be interested in. There was also like the thing with Ubisoft and like Assassin's Creed Shadows and so. But yeah. Just give the people freedom, you know. Creative freedom. Let them do what they want, and then something great comes out there. Don't like bring people in there who want like those political messages in there. Don't follow the investors. Just let them people cook, you know. Like things like censorship can also be like pretty bad regarding like restriction of freedom and like you know, those kind of art stuff. So true, and that's why I would like whatever that is more close to fantasy. Yeah. It is weird when there are like those, let's say those kind of things include a game when they take it very seriously and when it's like, yeah. But for things like Uma-Musume, you know, you don't have to take it seriously, you know? Because this is a crazy concept anyways. But why the hell does it slap? Why do I get invested, you know? And, you know, once you get into there, then yeah, there's the magic, right? I do also like the songs in like the concert songs from like Uma-Musume. I think like I will try like some other ones. Like when it comes to karaoke stream, like some Uma-Musume ones. Just like they're like not much on like things like instrumentals or like karaoke videos, you know, like with, you know, the karaoke subtitles ones. It's like a little easier to follow. But I will like try like something. Need to like grind for that though. It's also interesting the lore of like some Uma-Musume songs, you know. There's like Sakura Bakushin-o, you know. This Uma-Musume. And she's like the king of speed. You can like run a career with her only with like speed support cards, like 6x speed support cards, and win a career with her. You don't have to spend into stamina, you don't have to spend in wit, power, guts or anything, just speed. If you're fast enough, then you don't have to worry about stamina now. Just get to the goal first and then GG's, right? And she has like a theme song that's called Bakushin, 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 Bakushin. And the lyrics are like similar to the title, like just Bakushin, 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 Bakushin. And this song apparently is made by 2 people. Let that sink in. Such a brilliance of a song that it needs more than one person's brilliant mind. I gotta go, my laptop is dying. Have a nice day. Alright. Bye bye. Have a nice rest of the day. There's also like Uma Pure Densetsu, you know. Which has been like sung a lot in karaoke. In general, like by Japanese people and so. And the lore of that is, at least, I don't know, I'm not really sure if it's like true, but I think like, I guess it is, you know, that the song is like, has like a little bit of an interesting lore regarding creation. There were like dudes, you know, the songwriters were like drunk. They were like in the underpants, you know, wearing nothing but the underpants, drunk. They were like in the shower or so. No, something like that, drunk, shower. And they didn't wear a lot. And then they came up with a song while being in the state. Just like, when you hear the song maybe, you know, and look at the lyrics, you know, you kind of get the impression that this might be true. And hey, it still slaps, you know. We don't know what the song really is much about, but hey, let's vibe with that, you know. Like some lyrics, you know, some songs has like some kind of really good meaning, like creatively written, you know. You know, Pedansis is also like creatively written, but not like, it's not that deep, you know. It's not that deep. It just happens to like slap and like bring good vibes and energy. And I think like karaoke vibes is exactly like perfect, right? Immer pioi, immer pioi. Back in days I really didn't understood like Immer Missime, you know, like when the JP VTubers I like watch would like stream that. And then you'd be like, man, this is really the best. Like seeing your girl, seeing your Immer Missime like succeed after like putting so much time into them, into training, realizing the dream. And now that there's 2025 and like played it like on global, I can like also say, yeah, I finally understand now. I finally understand. Let's call her. I'm almost 2 hours in. Let's finish that with like in 30 minutes. Let's try that within 30 minutes. I'm not gonna do that much here. But man, Matsuri. You know, should I talk about that? Usually, when I watch a VTuber lots of times, I don't watch her that often, but I saw like clips with her, you know? Like things about like the Bansoku, the Band-Aids, you know? The Band-Aid story, for example, a classic. And like the lore, she is like good at attacking, but she can't take it, you know? Like keeping these things like in mind. It does like something with artists, and like creating fan art for her. Keeping those topics in mind. And when they create those things, phew, damn. But when I see her like, you know, she is like so wild in the clips. But when I watch her streams, or I like see her in Holofest, you know, like performing as an idol, like singing wise and so. There's a different side there as well. It's like, whew, man, I'm conflicted, you know, a little bit. You have there a little bit of a erogaki there, kind of, in a sense. But also an idol. Man. What to do? Right now I'm not drawing her like in any erogaki kind of vibe. I just try to like draw something cute. And maybe derpy. My brain is like a little bit empty. I think like my brain works better when like it's, I suppose like when it's evening or like morning. It works like the best around those times. During the daytime I kind of like work. Play games. Or like do other tedious tasks. Maybe I should like move my gaming streams like around like daytime, you know, rather than morning. But the thing is like once I'm done with streaming, I have the rest of the day I can use like to work. It's also the thing. Not that streaming's a job, I work, but you know, it's about time management. And then I really want the experience of like sleeping more than full day. Like having like winter sleep, you know, like those bears, like those animals in the wilderness there. But now you don't really need to prepare for winter sleep that much because climate change. It will like ruin like some habits of like those animals. Birds, they can just like fly to a different country, you know? Where it's like warmer. They can travel in a group. They will get hungry at some point though. But they're traveling a group, like for example when something is there like hostile towards them, they can like work as a group together. In a sense, man, I do think like animals can be like kind of interesting, you know, like with their team building thing, their group kind of mindset. Like a lot of like animals like work as a team, or at least as a family together, you know. Like bears as a family. Wolves can be like, okay, we work in a team. With a pack. Birds also their team, you know, like when you see like crows for example, and those are like intelligent birds, you know, and can also get scary with them. Like crows are like scary, I must say. They are scary. They're like pretty smart. Really high intelligence. I think like you can measure it like with a 9-year-olds or like 9-year-olds or so. Like the intelligence. And crows are like really big, you know. They're like as big as your head, I suppose. Like some of those. And if they're gonna pick up a fight with you, oh man, good luck, you know. Like don't make them feel like threatened or like, you know, don't be hostile towards them. Like if they're gonna work as a team, man, they like remember a person's face, you know. And they know when you like do something bad to them, they remember that, you know. Don't mess with crows. Not that I ever had like bad experience with them, but you know, they have like the aura that tells me like, okay, I have to be more respectful towards you. I was not. Oh, your apology. I was not familiar with the game. Well, alright. I have to add something more later on. there. But let's color for now. Man, I kinda like wish I didn't like, you know. Back in the days I streamed like on Twitch, you know, for the most part. Like 2021. The thing is like, I always liked streaming on YouTube because when you like done with the stream, it will get archived, you know, and stays there forever. On Twitch it can also stay archived, but if you're like a free-to-play and like not a Twitch partner, just like a normal dude there streaming on the platform, then at most it like stays at like 14 days there, right? So I don't really have much proof regarding my streaming history on like Twitch, you know? And there are like some streams I really like enjoyed doing there, you know? And like some karaoke streams. I really like doing this karaoke streams especially. It was mostly like gaming, you know, a niche game. Super Smash Bros. And karaoke. Drawing... I didn't really do much on stream back in the days. Unless it was like a long-term project, you know. Nothing like a short art stream, it was like something pretty long back then. I'm not even sure if a Wayback Machine can work, you know, if Wayback Machine works. Usually when you put something into internet, then I will never forget. I need to like try that out, you know, if this can even work. Hello Blue Ashland, welcome to the art stream. I'm currently drawing Natsuiro Matsuri from Hololive, 2nd gen. At least what I'm trying to do this stream. Welcome! You can, yeah, like open to stay for that until like I'm done. It doesn't take much more anymore until like that, but you are welcome to stay until then. Seeing like some art, like getting its finishing touches or so. Which is like not a lot, but you know, sometimes it's like nicer to like see something complete in a short amount of time rather than like 4 hours. Sometimes days. The thing is, like, time lapse is also like kind of interesting, you know, speed painting videos as well, but unless you really try to study, it's not that interesting, I suppose. Like, look at a pro and learn from them, right? I'm not a pro by all means. This is just entertainment, I suppose. Because my entertainment kind of skills lies in my yapping. That's why the chat is there, while I also like, there's not all drawings to are alone, but it's also a chat ting stream, you know? More or less. Yeah, let's change this one a little bit up. Well, I like try to keep as close as possible to the reference, you know, for recognizability. Also adding my own touches there. Like, not gonna copy, you know, one by one. I'm not doing that. Like, every artist is like kind of able to do that, like copying someone's style, but at the same time, it does feel like weird, you know? Not quite right. Unless you kind of like do it for studying reason, you know? There's also like, you know, this kind of trend like back in the days regarding like arts, you know? With the Sailor Moon kind of trend, you know? Drawing this kind of specific frame from anime in your style. There's not a lot of art of that. I don't know! And there was also like a similar trend with like the Powerpuff Girls as well. Regarding that. And actually, I think this was a thing of last year, like 2 years ago. I don't know if it's too late by now, you know, but I kinda want to join in there too. There's also like this Jack O challenge or so, where there was like something with the legs, you know. They stand on one leg, and then they stretch the other leg like to 90 degrees, you know, so that it can like, I don't know like how you call it, you know, but it's like something like martial artists can do, or like someone with like who are like really athletic, you know. It was called a Jack O challenge, like to draw that. I kind of like what people like came up there, or like what they did draw in the end regarding this topic. Did I forget anything else? That should be fine. I kinda like wanted to draw more of first, you know, like full body maybe. But then I would like choose a different pose also for that. Adjust the line weight a little bit. And then I think like it will be good to go. With like some adjustments later on. It's like not much anymore. But line weight, and then I will like do some finishing touches with the colors. Minor finishing touches. It's like nothing too big, you know. But better done than perfect, you know? I want to finish. The quantity needs to be there. The quality will like come at some point regarding like drawing. If you keep it up, you know, you get naturally better at it. There's like something nice, you know, when you do like a sketch and there's like some mistakes, like to fix those. I do like working like that, you know, like when I see like something that's like not quite right, then I can like, you know, then fixing that is not that hard compared to like, you know, building up from the ground. It's like with work as well, that you like know clear instructions like what to do, you know, rather than like, you know, create the thing from the ground. But the thing is like being creative, having the freedom, even though those things are like more difficult, like action, you know, like having action there. At some point it's also important to like learn that skill. It's okay if you do not learn at all and then just follow orders. Or like, yeah, fix that mistake please, you know, or like draw this panel, or like draw this speech bubble for me, you know. But having the freedom, creative freedom, like freedom in general, and like whatever you do, is also kind of nice. Like having a canvas, you know, an empty canvas, and you can like call it however you like. There's like something about that artists do enjoy. I did like those things of like, hey, color by numbers, kind of interesting, you know? Like whenever this came up, this is like similar to like school, you know, they have like those mandala stuff, you know, like you have like some kind of interesting circular, you know, a lot of fields to like fill in color with in there. And the pattern and then like the colors you combine with there can be quite interesting. But what if you can just create like a whole, you know, if you can like paint the canvas with whatever you like imagine with your skills. Hello Kyo, welcome to the art stream. I'm trying Natsuiro Matsuri the first time. Welcome. But you know, like if you have the ability, you know, if you can just draw the whole canvas, you know, if you can just paint it with what you want instead of like, you know, using existing picture and then like just fill in colors by numbers or like by feeling. Of course it can be like interesting for studying, you know, you have like, let's say like an anime-ish drawing there, and then you can like study how to color that, you know, like a little bit, especially like lighting, shadowing and so. But what if you can like do your own art, right, instead of just like drawing over it? Not drawing over it, but drawing, you know, putting color onto it, you know. It's also like a thing that's nice to do. And so yeah, also like regarding presentations or like music, or like you do want to like tell a story, then you know, and being able to like paint that image. Like music, okay, painting an image or like creating a melody, you know how it is. Having freedom. I'm gonna be done in a bit. It doesn't take like much more. It's gonna be some minor touch-ups, minor finishing touches. I say like minor since it's really not much I need to do there. Like it's pretty simple on like how I color. But it's like good enough, you know. Simple is the best. It's simple and cute. And a little bit derpy. I think I'm gonna add some color splashes in back as well. I wish I could like do more, but this time my brain was like kind of like at its end of like coming up with like something more creative there. It's gonna be something simple. Daijoubu. But yeah, once I'm done with that here, I will go shopping. Kinda getting hungry. Maybe not really hungry, but I need to like fill up my resources, you know, and do like my weekly. I have to also really I do have to complete my weekly shopping, you know. Like sometimes I get a craving when I don't have it there. It's like, you know. Oh no, I have kind of like enough, but just in case, you know, keep the routine like up. I do kind of like shopping, I suppose. Back in the days, I didn't really put it much of a thought, but sometimes like, shopping, you know, like looking what's available, and then, oh, currently the discount is going on, okay, then maybe take a look, okay, what could you be interested in? You don't have to buy really anything, but just in case, you know, and maybe, even if you don't have money, like, just keep in mind that these things exist. But let's say you are like on a vacation, you know, like somewhere on an event. Obviously you will have a lot of money like ready. You maybe have to spend. Maybe you want to spend. Like the thing is like with money, you know, like shopping. It's nice, it feels nice to spend money, but you don't have infinite money, you know. You have to like kind of resource management. And like, evaluate, do I need that thing? Is it practical in my life? You know? It's like, time is also like a resource, you know? You kind of have to manage. Of course, we can do work. We can like do a lot of stuff that gets us more money, you know? Numbers go up, monkey. Oh, you know, like something like that. But then, we also have to make sure our morale, you know? Our morale. So that we can keep our sanity and still like continue on with things. You know, things like internet, things like Netflix, things like... I think YouTube is free, you know, but you need internet in the first place so that you have to pay, right? Sometimes it can be games. We can like... With YouTube there's like VTubers, right? You know. There's a lot of things we do need in the end, you know. Even if we like numbers going up, there's also like the sanity, there's the morale, you know, that you have to keep up. You have to like take care of yourself, you know. I had like for a long time like this thing of like, okay, numbers go up, you know, that I keep like a lot of my attention to like saving money, gaining money, and like cutting myself off from worldly desires, or like at least keeping it to a minimum, maybe like 10% of the day or like 5%, but you really do want free time. So like a weekend, you know, 2 days off can be quite nice. Then we can create memes, you know, like we do need a lot of like stuff, I suppose. It is not mandatory, but now we're like this kind of age where entertainment is like such a big kind of topic, you know, that we can criticize things based on like how good or bad it was, you know, that we call like things like myths, and it's like you know, like masterpiece, whatever, right? Like things like music, like back in the days even, you know, they did like understand like that we need like to keep our sanity up, you know, like things like sweets or like extra luxurious like hot spring or like bath, you know, like some stuff like gold, you know, like, or like shining jewelries, you know, games, like not like those video games, but you know, like things like we put up like some kind of targets there, and then you try to throw a ball at it from a certain distance to like knock off those objects, you know, hit the target. People like invented like tennis at some point, you know. It's like entertainment, the social aspect, connecting with people, there being like theaters, there's like so much about it. It's like really like important somewhere, but then there's also like things like gladiator fights, you know, or like in all kind of like day and age, like what we know is like Squid Games, right? Something like that. That like entertainment can like, you know, for the sake of like filling our days that are like boring, you know, give us something exciting, you know, let us see like the true struggle of our humanity. And then it's like, yeah, but you know, it has like a message there as well. It's entertaining, but at the same time, you know, like a reverse isekai story, you know, in Squid Games could kinda be like interesting, right? You know, that there was a gladiator, you know, who fought to death in the arena, fighting against other gladiators, or like against wild beasts, you know, wild animals, and then gets transported to Squid Games, like get isekai into Squid Games, you know. Yeah, it's not much different, you know, but it might be interesting plot, you know, since a lot of people in the Colosseum, you know, they're either like hired mercenaries, maybe not, you know, maybe as opponents, you know, but usually like those people who are like there in the arena are like people that are criminals, you know, scum of the earth. And then instead of like just, you know, getting Mr. Guillotine or like, you know, the executioner there, hey, let them fight, you know. Let them fight, you know, let them entertain the people, like, you know, before like we, you know, just gonna poof off this life. Let's have like some fun with him, you know. Gladiators. And when this kind of like stuff, when this like one guy gets into Squid Games and then has his chance to like fight for his freedom, you know? Like if they continue to go back to their own world and just like be fighting for life and death. But when there's an opportunity, they can get freed. This could be interesting, right? I reverse isekai story into a death game. Ugh, no. It's not a truck con, for example, you know? It's not gonna be truck con that ends your life. It's just like gonna be some beast, you know? And it's like you get into the zone, you know? Like near-death experience. And then time stops and then yeah, if you're gonna keep doing that, you might die at some point, but hey, hear me out. Maybe you want to like get out of that. So I have an offer for you. You know? Enter this death game of like planet Earth. Or so, you know? And I guess it's kind of like an evil scheme, more or less, you know? Because yeah, there's like the benefit that you will get freed of all that crap, but also you really might lose your life. But the thing is like, you miss every shot you don't take, so can be like forced to like do the game, and it's like, yeah. And to be honest, like death games, like things like Kaiji, things like Akagi, you know, like in a high-risk mahjong kind of like environment. Squid Games is like the thing that I like mentioned. They're like, it's kind of like, yeah, there's something in this genre you can like pull potential off from, you know? There's like potential. It's not necessarily like in the games itself or like, but like in creating characters and like developing them, for example, right? Like to like finish their character arc. I'm cooking, man. But yeah, when someone hears a story, like my kind of idea there, and then creates like something wonderful with that, let's go, you know? Just credit me, I suppose, you know? Gonna be like, you know, when the credits are like rolling, and then special thanks, or like thanks to Tosan, you know, something like that. To be honest, like sometimes my name gets like into the credits for like some indie games, you know, I kind of like sponsored, I suppose. Like not really sponsored, you know, but when I do a fundraising or like they put out a Patreon, you know, I sometimes I do see potential, you know, and be like, okay, I let you cook, man, you know, like some game development. Okay, I think I'm gonna like add a little bit of background, but nothing too complicated. Nothing too complicated. Could this be okay? Let's see. Nah. Maybe something darker? Like white alone is not enough. Nah. Let's not. Not too much. Not the full canvas. Nah, not this one. Let's do some airbrush. move. I'm grateful for Clip Steel Paint that they have this tool. Like some useful tools there. Makes like some things easier. Back in the days I would like hand draw every single dot or so. And I would have no complaints. But knowing that you have like some other options, yeah. It saves time. And time is like really a resource that you can't get back, you know? It's kind of like nice that this exists. Let me think. Maybe something rich, yeah. Hand drawn. I haven't found an optimal tool on like doing this via a little bit easier and saving myself time. On Medibang, something like this exists. It's like pretty easy to like use, but I haven't like found anything on Clip Steel Paint. At least like I didn't do research, I don't know, but really just like looking at all those things on the side. On the bars next to that could like indicate this is like this tool, but yeah. But I can also do hand drawn, which has like human errors and everything, but you know, it is raw, it can slap still. And even if there are human errors, it can still be charming, it can still slap. Like, usually I was really like worried every time I like drew, like back in the days, or like let's say like a few years ago, 2022, 2023, 2021, that I do mistakes, you know. But at some point I did look at like some arts from Toho artists, no Toho fan artists, you know, like Regan Toho fan art. I do enjoy, and when I look like closer, and I kind of like noticed, hey, not everything is perfect. They do, you know, like when you zoom in closer, but you don't like see the mistakes like immediately, you know, because you kind of like scroll. Only when you pay really attention, you know, look like at all the lines that has been done. When there's like that there's like things like human errors, and it's like, or like it's like there's an error on purpose because, you know, nobody's gonna look close at it. And yeah. And like knowing that even the pros, they work like on the bare minimum, or like sometimes under pressure, you know, like mangakas, and they still like create something really like decent, you know. It made me like wonder, hey, maybe you can like take it easier, you know. So yeah, well, I don't have like the perfect tool for that. Hand-drawn is still like something I'm familiar with, and it's still like okay to use it, even if it's like not the most optimal one. I think like brown and like blue is not the best combination. I need to like use blue and very, very sparingly. Like not too much blue. Okay, doesn't look so bad, right? I suppose. I look like at the OBS screen, at my screen. Yeah. I need to adjust a little bit here. The blue. Alright, I'm gonna keep it at that. It has been 2 hours and 42? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna call it for today. This has been fan art I've drawn from Natsuiro Matsuri. Hello fairs guys, welcome. And I guess, what's this emoji? It's like the dog eyes, you know? But yeah, you came like at the moment where I like finished that thing. So I think that's like not bad. Like some people, they don't like to wait until like thing is done. They just want the product, you know, they just want it to be finished already. Then I suppose, yeah, I think this is like good enough for now. But tomorrow is also a stream. It's like for me a morning stream. Like this time it was like around afternoon, you know, and like for tomorrow it's gonna be on morning. So the next stream is gonna be in less than 12? No. It's like about 13 hours, like around there. I'm gonna stream like my playthrough of like Silksong part 3, like my gameplay there. And yeah, a Metroidvania, very long awaited game. If you're into it, you can feel free to drop by. If not, there will be next week another schedule. I think like I will do a karaoke stream next week too. A little bit of singing of mine. Sing some Japanese songs, sing some Uma Musume songs, I suppose. And like some anime songs I like. Kinda like we're like thinking, okay, they're bop, you know. But yeah, in any case, thank you all for watching. I wish you a nice rest of the day, evening, or good night, whatever times in the world you all are. And with that, I'm gonna say bye bye.